Welcome to Personality Speaking, where the tea is always hot. This show is dedicated to helping you build healthier, stronger relationships through the understanding of the personalities. Our show airs every Wednesday night live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And normally I have guests in the audience and I mean in the room, and I have some guests tonight for you. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. I want to tell you a little bit about the show. The show is based on the late Florence Littauer, who wrote the book Personality Plus. And this teaching that she had, I got certified under, talks about 4 personality styles. It's the popular sanguine, which is my primary personality style. We're fun-loving, happy-go-lucky. We draw people to us. But some of the challenges we have is that we're flighty and forgetful, and we can talk too much. And then we have the powerful choleric. The powerful choleric is a mover and a shaker, and they get more things done in the morning than most of us get done all week. They are born leaders. They're concise and strategic. But some of their challenges are they're bossy and controlling and domineering. And it's their way or the highway. And so those are your extroverted personality styles. And those 2 extroverted personality styles mean that you get your energy from other people. And then you have your introverted personality styles, which means you get your energy from within. And those 2 are the perfect melancholy. And the perfect melancholy is a deep thinker, compassionate. They're kind and they're thoughtful, but they have some challenges too. They are judgmental and critical, highly critical of themselves and others. And they have very high expectations of people and of themselves. And then finally, your 4th and final personality style and your 2nd introverted personality style is the peaceful phlegmatic. And I love me a peaceful phlegmatic because they're cool, calm, collected. They're chill. They're the kind personality style. They're supportive. But some of their challenges are that they're uninvolved and disinterested. They're not motivated. So some of those are some of the personality traits. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to my website, beyond2llc.com. That'll give you some other information. If you want to take your personality assessment, you can do that as well. And in case I haven't said this, my name is Karen Ward. I'm an advanced certified personality trainer and speaker. I'm the author of the book, Coupled for Life, Overcoming Personality Differences in Marriage. Ooh, that book has blessed me, and I hope it has blessed the people who purchased it. But this book is helping people to see that we make these wedding vows and that God wants us to stick to them. He wants us to make sure that we connect and stay connected with the person that we are married to and that we don't end that relationship. So this book will hopefully help you to see that. All right. So tonight's episode is called Navigating Personality Differences in Newlyweds. I got a newlywed couple. The subtitle is Building a Strong Foundation for Marriage. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my couple. My couple tonight is Euron, which we can call, he said we can call him Ron, and Rachel Blackwell. And Ron is a lifelong PG County resident. So am I, Ron. I've been here since I was 9 years old, and I'm an old girl. Anyway, and he has a passion for educating and encouraging others. That passion is displayed through his work as a financial planner, as well as in serving as a commissioner for the Housing Authority for Prince George's County. Oh, that's excellent. Rachel Blackwell loves God and is passionate about spreading his love to all she encounters. Amen. She leads a weekly prayer call to encourage people to establish a relationship with God through prayer, which I always tell people, prayer is just a two-way communication with God. Mm-hmm. In her private time, Rachel enjoys taking long walks in nature. In March 2021, amid a global pandemic, Rachel and Ron married and are blessed with one son, Elias Ronell, born in August of 2022. Welcome, family, to Personality Speaking.
Thank you for having us. Yes. Thank you.
So I had Rachel on before and I had some of the ladies on, but Ron, this is my first time meeting you. So I want you guys to tell me a little bit about yourselves. First of all, how did you guys meet?
You take it?
No, yeah, you take it.
All right. So we actually met at church at our so the first time we actually met, Rachel doesn't remember, but I do. We met at a Christmas party that first our church had. Rachel was serving, and
singles ministry.
Singles ministry at a Christmas party, right? And I was invited. I was told it's a good place to meet some people, meet some women, right? So I came and Rachel was there. She was greeting people, and I remember like we had a brief conversation, and I had my eye on her like kind of ever since then. And then I kind of strategically placed myself where places I thought I might see her again.
So just tell me this first. Mm-hmm. When you saw her, obviously she was a beautiful woman, mm-hmm. but was there anything about her personality that drew you to her? Anything that you noticed?
Well, she has a servant's heart, right? She had it's a big, beautiful smile. Greeted everyone, like so. She wasn't closed off. She was really open, right? And I could just kind of see that the way she carried herself. It was like she was friendly, but there was still, keeping a safe distance, so to speak, right? It was like kind of like knowing how to work a room, but not like really not looking for attention, but commanding it at the same time.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, and it was really strong, right? And that's kind of like right up my alley. Like God knows God knows the desires of our hearts, and He showed it.
He certainly does. And so, what about you, Rachel?
Like he said, like I was just when I was serving in singles ministry, I was never in that ministry to meet a man. Like if it was going to be a byproduct of it, but I was there to serve, to be with like-minded singles. So I did not notice him the first time that he noticed me, but I did notice him at Prayer Power when he said that he followed up at different places where he thought that I would be, and he had this nice suit on, and I was like, oh, okay, hi, how you doing? That was the first time that he really got my attention. Yeah.
And so how long did you all how long did you know each other before you got married?
Wow. Okay, so I would say May of 2019, and then we got married March of 2021.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So during that 2-year period, tell me about what you thought of Ron's personality in that 2-year period.
I thought that he was very confident. Ron was well spoken. He intrigued me because like the way that he communicated, Karen, I had to run to the dictionary to look up stuff when he would say things to me, and it just piqued my interest. Like this man he carried himself so well. He was respectful. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and during that time, what did you find out about your wife's personality during that courting time?
She pretty much was like, again, she was the same person that she was when I met her, but she is like, she's very thoughtful. She will think, she wants to do something, like she wants to jump in and help, very helpful, right? I mean, almost to the point where it's like, yo, like I got it. Like if she see I need some help with something, she gonna jump in and almost take it out of my hands. And I'm like, hey, listen, I got it. You don't have to take this over, right? But so there's that. Again, she's a great friend. Very loyal to her friends, right? Yeah. Committed. My wife's everything that she starts, she finishes.
Wow.
Like all the and she's in it 100%. Every ministry she joins, even if she's not necessarily joining, but wants to give a helping hand, and she'll go all in. Like that's just her personality. Yeah. She loves the Lord. Like I think that's one of the most endearing things about her is that the word is what guides her life, right? Even when she's out of line, she'll wrestle with it and she'll turn back to that. Right. It's not one of those things where it's an addendum. It's like literally the driving force of her life. And that was the most beautiful thing.
I love that. So can you tell me like what was the defining moment where you realized, both of you, when you realized that this is going to be my husband, this is going to be my wife?
Can I go first?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
It was just his consistency. His consistency. I prior to Ron, I had like a doubt. Just waiting for somebody to fail me, and that's not a good attitude to take into courting or dating. But he was so consistent and he was authentic. The one thing that I can pinpoint was Ron would write under my post, you know, "You're beautiful," or say things like that. Whereas other men would always hit you in the DM. So
Yeah.
it was just a point where I knew that it was going to be something. The fact that he was consistent, the planning things well in advance, just constantly wanting to be around me. I was like, wow, God, this is it. And then his just love and his passion. I remember what my prayer was like, God, I want a man that loves you so that I have no doubt that he can love me, that you have his heart, so that, you know, if we have any issues, I can pray to you about him, and I know that he is in control by you. You know what I mean? Like, these are
Yes.
important things for me. So.
Yes, I love that. Okay, Ron.
And so for me, I think the moment I knew was, I remember one Saturday, I was in a ministry at church. I just started this ministry program at church, and I was thinking about, like, I don't know if I want to do this, right? Like, this is too much of my time, it's commitment. Like, I was wrestling with it, and I called Rachel and we talked about it, and I remember she said, "Look, I mean, you can do what you want." She was like, "But understand, the only way you don't finish this is if you quit. So if you stick with it, let God show you. Maybe God will show you something, and you stick with it." And like, it was at that moment that I knew that, okay, she didn't judge me for wanting to quit. She didn't give me an attitude. She just said, "You can," but so there was an encouragement and a support, right? And I was so used to some women, "Oh, you gonna quit," and just snapping, you know what I mean, and giving me a whole bunch of attitude. She didn't do that. It was the total opposite, right?
Yeah.
You can do that, but I would encourage you to do this. And I was like, okay. So number one, like, she didn't tell me that I shouldn't. She didn't judge me or give me an attitude, but she pushed me, and more importantly, she pushed me towards God.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Right? And she didn't pull me away.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, okay, God, you showing me something, because I know I need him, because I can get a good idea and go another way, right?
Right.
But I know if I got a mate that will keep me close to Christ, and I know with her by my side, I can accomplish everything that God has for me. And it was at that moment I said, all right, I got to go get her a ring.
I love that. And let me tell you something. One of the things, some of the things I hear from how you all felt about each other is, when my husband and I are the same personality blocks. Like, I'm a sanguine choleric and he's a choleric sanguine. So we're both extroverted personality styles. And so I know that I have a strong personality, right? And so I could say, can I get a glass of water? And it sounds like I'm yelling. Can I get a glass of water? It sounds like I'm demanding, And so I always had to work on how I communicate with him, so that I feel softer, or that I come off softer, so that he can hear me and not immediately think I'm trying to tell him what to do. And so I hear you saying, Ron, that your wife, probably because she has some introverted personality styles, and maybe melancholy, or would you say you're melancholy?
I wouldn't actually. Sanguine flag.
Oh, sanguine phlegmatic. Did you think you phlegmatic first or sanguine first?
The test said sanguine first and flag second, but
okay. No, that's good to know, because my daughter's flag sanguine. Mm-hmm. Now, she, depending on where she is, she's sanguine, and the other place, sometimes some other places, she's phlegmatic. So she definitely goes back and forth between the two. So okay, so that supportive role is what a phlegmatic does, right? Mm-hmm. They're very supportive, they're kind, they are considerate, They make sure that they have your back at all times. And so it sounds like that's something you appreciated. Now, what do you think your personality styles are, Ron?
I think I'm more like you, right? I mean,
Same
when I say that
qualities.
because because I know my tone can be bad. I can say stuff to Rachel and she feels like I'm yelling, right? And I'm like, you know what? But I'm really not. It's just how I talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just passionate, right?
Excited.
And to her, it's like she's like,
Damn.
calm down. I'm like, what? I'm just talking, you know. And so even in disagreements, right? That can come off as me trying to demand or like I'm yelling. And I'm like, that's not it. I'm just passionate about how I feel. Like, and it's
Right.
you know, in any conversation I get like that. And I'm
Yeah.
realizing that it doesn't always resonate with her. Right.
That's right.
So I'm trying to soften up,
Mm-hmm.
but it is not like it's just not, you know, my natural thing. So I have to think about it. But
It requires work. It does
Yeah.
require work. And I could tell you that I have been misunderstood my whole life. My whole life. When I was young, people misunderstood me. I remember my brother and I were traveling. My husband, my brother and I were traveling, and my husband and I rented the car, but my brother was driving it, his leg of the trip. And the police pulled us over. And I was just telling my brother, be careful. As soon as you cross over into North Carolina, the police are waiting for you. And that's exactly what happened.
Oh yeah.
And so the police officer was asking for the information, and it was in mine and my husband's name. It was in my name, I think. And so he was like, your name is not on here. I said, well, I rented the car, you know, and he's my brother. And the guy's like, the police officer says, well, his name is not on here. I said, well, they never told me it had to be. And the way I was talking, I thought was just a matter of fact. I'm giving information. When the police officer, because my brother was a firefighter, was like, you know, calm down, you know, I'm gonna slow down, take your time and go ahead. When we pulled off, my brother looked at me. He said, dang, I'm sorry. I'm surprised we didn't get a ticket. You were going for the guy's neck. And I said, what? Like, even my own brother didn't understand me. And so I understand that we are very passionate. We're loud anyway. We're born loud.
Yeah.
And we're passionate. And the more passionate we are about something, the louder we get. And sometimes we feel like, you know, people feel like we're screaming, and we're not. And so it really does take work on our parts to adjust our communication with the person that we're in relationship with.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
Yes.
very good.
Yeah.
So good. Okay, so let's talk about some of the challenges that you may have countered. How long have you been married?
It 2.5 years.
I love it. I love new love. In the 2.5 years, are there any challenges that you have faced that you were able to overcome?
You know, we're constantly the challenge that we're dealing with now is just that communication. Like I have expectations that I'm not communicating. I'm just like, but you should just do it because Rachel would just do it. I have this, you know I'll just jump in. Remember that helpful person. And I'm like just this week, they taking the baby to daycare, and Ron works in Bowie and he's going that way, but it's my role in the morning to take him to daycare, and Ron picks him up in the evening, but he was already going that way at that same time. I get an attitude because I'm like, why didn't you just say I'll take him? Like, no. And I have to apologize, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, I'm putting something on you that you're not even thinking about. So
Right.
So just communicating.
Yeah. Excellent.
And like for me, like I can be somewhat of an over communicator. So like I will ask and double check. So this is what you want me to do, right? We're doing this, right? And I think sometimes it annoys Rachel because she's like, well, we said that. I'm like, no, I want to double check, right? I want to make sure, right? Because we said it last week. It may not be the same this week. I want to double check with you, right? And I think, you know, those small communications, and there are things like I said, she'll assume that I understand, right? Or assume that I'm going to do something. And I'm like, not like, let's talk about it, communicate it, right? We communicate it clearly. We don't have this, you know, there's no, you know what I mean? No disconnect. So I think it's those small hurdles, right? Like, how do we communicate? How do we speak each other's language, right?
I love it.
Because like I can't communicate to her in the way that I would receive it. I got to figure out how she's going to receive it and communicate to her in that manner, right?
Yes.
And vice versa. He doesn't want to be told. And sometimes I can be direct, and I'm telling him instead of asking him. So it's just I'm learning, and I'm trying every chance we bump heads. I'm like, I'm picking up something from it and trying to do better.
And that's all you can do. I'm doing this marriage series. And I've been doing it for, I guess, going on my second month, because I'm doing a marriage workshop. And the marriage workshop is called Building Forever. And it's helping, like I said, married people stay married. God gave me Couples for Life as a trade name. And it's because he wants married couples to stay married. And part of what we're going to be talking about is how the personalities communicate in a relationship, and how you can deal with those personality differences, and how we communicate. And so that was perfectly said, because it does require you to understand how your mate's personality receives information, and how they process that information and then deliver that information to the other person based on their personality style. And what happens is, a lot of times we tend to try to make somebody else want to, we tend to expect people to respond based on our personality style, or to even receive information based on our own personality style, instead of adjusting our style to them. And I always say, you can't change anybody. You can only change yourself. That's it. All right. So let's get into another question. How do you divide household responsibilities? And what is the secret to maintaining a harmonious household or home?
So there isn't Ron definitely handles everything outside. I've never cut grass. I don't know how to do that. But in the home, like if Ron cooks, I wash the dishes. If I cook, he'll wash the dishes. He'll load the dishwasher. If I see that the trash is, full and I want it gone, I was single up until 39. I don't have a problem pulling the trash, even though, we were taught or some couples say, oh, a woman shouldn't touch the trash. Like, that's just not how it is in our household. So there's a equal share of responsibilities. He makes the bed, I make the bed. We share everything with the boy, with Elias. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, it feels like there's nothing that he can't do, or that I feel like I should be doing alone, or he should be doing alone. I'm appreciative of that. So
Amen.
Right. Like I just feel like if I see something, I'm just gonna jump in and kind of do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna sit around and expect her to do it, and then I get an attitude because it didn't get done. Just do it, right? Like, and because end of the day, like, I feel like, if like Rachel may have a habit of coming home and like putting her coat on a chair, right? And then the next day it'll be a different coat on the same chair, right? So I'm like, you know what? Let me just take the coats and hang them up, because if I nag her about what she's not doing, then it becomes an argument, right? And now I'm just being like a tyrant in the home. So you know what? I'll just move it, and if she and as she sees me do it, you know what? Then she'll say, you know what? Let me hang this up, right? The same way with her and me, right? I'll just put dishes in the sink, right? Let them pile up. Don't think about it. She washes. So you know what? Let me wash my dish. She's not fussing at me about it, but she just does it, right? Because if we fuss at each other, right, then it becomes like this contentious, right? But hopefully, if I see her do it, she's leading by example, and I'll follow suit.
So my hairdresser was tickled today because he called me. He's like, babe, I went to the grocery store and I got dinner, blah, blah, blah. And I picked up this and I also went to Home Depot. She was like, man, he sure got a lot accomplished today. I don't know a lot of guys that do the grocery shopping. And I was like, I'm blessed.
Yes, you are blessed. And I'm gonna tell you, it's interesting, and it really goes in line with um what I'm about to say, which is my husband and I told you we have the same blocks, right? Personality blocks. And but we also did a division. I deal with everything inside the house. He deals with everything outside the house. So I pay the bills, I usually do some of the cleaning. He'll help me clean. So that's not an issue. We'll pick places and clean. He does all the laundry. He's always done it from the time I met him. He was like, nobody will ever touch my laundry. So now he does everybody's laundry, which I love. My daughter loved that until when she went away to college, she'd come home and he would do the laundry, pack it up. And I mean, he folds it up and puts it away too.
Wow.
Okay. I do all the cooking because he can't cook. Even when I get sick, he'll find his little holes in the wall and he'll make sure I get to eat. But he can't cook, and I don't really want him to. The last meal he cooked me was hot dogs, beans, and greens. Yeah, no. So, and he does everything from yard work, the pool, the cars, all that outdoor stuff. He takes out the trash. I'll take out the trash if he gets to. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but he'll get the trash out. I mean, he does. We have that division of responsibilities mainly because we're both cholerics. And so we both have to have some level of control over the environment. Okay, so what are some of your favorite hobbies or activities that you do together?
What?
I don't have, believe it or not, I don't have a whole lot of hobbies. Ron is like the sports guy. He, dating him, we went to all the baseball games and he introduced me to like the concerts and all of the and things like that. The things that we do together, I can literally just be in his space and I'll go to that baseball game and sit there for 3 hours, don't know nothing that's going on. But because he enjoys it, I'm just there and I'll be on social media or I'll be, just hobbies together. I would just say like going to Alexandria, long walks, things like that. With the beautiful part of this relationship is that we don't mind jumping in. If I have an idea and I want to do something, Rachel loves the outdoors. I wanted to go to the pumpkin patch. I want to go to the museums. Those are the things that I enjoy. He'll be right there with me.
Love it.
I just like to go. So like I think so the hobbies, like I'm a big music guy, so I love going to concerts, live music. That's a thing for me. Like I can sit here and like when I cut the TV on, just play music, right?
Yeah.
And I find the music that she likes and I'll play it, right? So that there are times I know Rachel's heavy, so I'll find a gospel playlist. I do like 90s R&B because that's what she likes. You know what I mean? Like I picked up on that, right? But then I kind of hip her the stuff I like. Some of the neo soul. You know what I mean?
He knows all the music, right? So we'll sit here. I'll be like, baby, who is this? Whose song is this? He knows the artist and all that. And I have a memory from like youth. I'll know the song. So we'll be sitting here singing and, catching up on old songs like that. But
I do know that that Rachel loves to put on clothes and go to like galas, right? Or like go to like nice restaurants. I've never been a foodie, so that's the thing. I'm trying to embrace that, and I got to learn. You know what I mean? So like that's something I want to do. Cause I know that's what she likes to do. So I want to feed that because I know she enjoys it. Right? I appreciate that she likes to do what I like to do, but I really want to do more stuff that I know she enjoys.
So I think while we don't have like hobbies in common, just the fact that we like doing whatever the other person, it works. It works.
Yeah, that definitely works. My husband, when I first met him, was he's an all sport fan, right? He likes all sports. But football is his thing. And I remember when the football game came on, I couldn't talk to him unless I talked to him about the game. Now I know a lot about football because of that. He taught me all about football. I can call plays and some more stuff. Okay. Now, some of the other, like basketball is too fast for me. So I can't tell when things are happening because they happen too quick. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll watch it with you. But I don't get, sometimes I'm like, hey, and he's like, no. That's not a yay. But when it comes to football, I know football, and he made me a lover of football. There were times because he worked nights and weekends that he would call me and say, "What are you doing?" I said, "The game is on. What do you want? What are you calling me for?" And so, to me, I think that's a beautiful thing when you can merge both your likes together and experience them differently, because I think you get to experience those things differently through the eyes of your spouse.
Yeah.
Especially the spouse that doesn't know much about it. So I just think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So can you guys tell me something memorable or funny that's happened in your relationship?
That's the one we kind
Yeah.
of wrestle with that one.
You said I was funny, but
you do silly stuff all the time. Like you have blonde moments, and I'm like, hey, what?
That's that flighty sanguine.
right.
That's that flighty sanguine.
We just talked about that 2 minutes ago. What do you mean? Yeah,
and that's not his personality at all. Like he's not like a funny guy. Like he's not the person to make me laugh.
I'm sarcastic. Not necessarily. Not big jokes, but it's sarcastic.
But sarcastic funny.
Yeah, that's
yesterday, my husband he's lately, over the last, say, 6 months or so, he has been driving me everywhere. Probably last year. He's been like, "Baby, you got somewhere you want to go? Come on, let's go." And so he's been driving me everywhere. Well, yesterday he drove me to Aldi's. And I go to the Aldi's, and I'm walking out, and I'm looking for the car, and I'm looking for because he always parks like normally directly in front of wherever I'm coming out, all the way to the end. So I'm looking, I cannot find him anywhere. And all of a sudden I realize I'm looking for him in his car. We're in my car.
That's important.
You are such a blonde. You really are, girl. But all right, so let's talk about what advice would you give other newlyweds about maintaining a healthy and loving relationship, if you had any advice to give?
A lot of grace, Karen. A lot. Because I think I give it to Ron so much because I know that I need it. You know what I mean? And God extends it to me. So it's constant, like, forgiving. Like, I'm not afraid to apologize. I'm always saying, like, "Baby, please forgive my attitude, or forgive me for being so snappy, or, just assuming." Give a lot of grace in your marriage, and just know this is my husband for life. Like, at the end of the day, in my heart of hearts, I believe that he has my best interest at heart. Even when he does things that I'm like, I know he's smarter than that. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, I have in the back of my mind, like, we're going to work this out. It's going to get better. And it helps. It helps to just keep going in this, and to be hopeful that it's going to get better.
Yeah.
Grace is definitely a biggie. Yeah. What about you, Ron? What would you say?
I think for me, grace is definitely important, but also you got to remember, one, that your mate is not your enemy, and the goal is not to think alike, but the goal is to think together.
Yes.
So you got to figure out, again, how you guys can have a common goal, figure out how her mind works, your mind works, how we work together to get there. Right. Yes. Don't be too proud. Like, I know, there's things that Rachel does way better than me. She's a little more organized in certain areas than I am. So you know what? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give that to her. I'm gonna get out the way and let her do it. And I'm gonna trust that. Right. And there's certain things that I do better, and that should be leaned towards me. Yeah. But how do we figure out how to merge these two personalities and two thought processes to get to that same common goal? Yes. And I think a lot of times we try to remake our mate into our image. Oh, I can change them. No, only God can change people. You can't change them.
Right. That's right.
You got to figure out who you got and figure out how to work with them.
Amen. Amen. Okay, that's really kind of, honestly, I'm gonna I'm really gonna post this, because I want people to really sign up for this Building Forever workshop, because this is what the workshop is about. It's about understanding each other's personality differences, because, I don't know if you know of Deborah Smith Pegues. She wrote the book 30 Days of Taming Your Tongue.
Mm.
I met her. She's spoken at church before, but I met her at this luxury retreat, and I was a speaker and she was a speaker. And I was coming up with the title of my book. And she said, and I think I was saying, Couple for Life, Overcoming Personality Challenges or something like that in marriage. And she said, no differences. And I said, it's exactly that. They're not challenges, they're really differences, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so once we understand how each person is wired, which is what this workshop is about, is understanding how your mate is wired. And then how can we together look at how you're wired, look at how I'm wired, and be able to come into a place where you can operate in each other's strengths and overcome each other's weaknesses as a couple.
Mm.
Right? That's what the workshop is about. And I'm hoping people will sign up to do this. It's next weekend. I'm excited about it. I'm actually thinking about, I'm actually going to do something. If for every couple that signs, for every couple that brings a paying couple, that couple comes for free.
Mm.
So if you bring a paying couple, you come for free. And all you have to do is send me a DM that you're whoever it is that paid, and you come for free. Because I believe that God is doing a big thing in this workshop and allowing couples to see each other in the way they were wired and how he created them, so that they are able to really get on one accord with one another. And that is so my dream. Even when my husband and I have any kind of conversations, the first thing I pray is, Father, let us be on one accord.
Amen.
Let us be on one accord, because I know with such strong personalities, both of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I want us to be on one accord. Just God, please, So I'm hoping that, people will do that. But you said something too about being on the, we're on the same side. I always say we're on the same team. If you're, and I always give the guys an analogy that if you're looking at a football team or a basketball team or any kind of team, if you're fighting against each other, you're not going to win.
Right.
The way you win is to come together as a team. That's why they call you team, but to come together and be able to fight the opponent. And the opponent in marriage is the issue. Whatever you're going through, that's the opponent. But we together are going to fight the issue, not each other. So I love that. I love what you said about that. Okay, let's talk about what are some of the unexpected joys or surprises that you've discovered in your relationship? Was anything that was unexpected? And while you think about it, let me tell you mine. For me, what was unexpected to me was that my husband was such a nurturer. Like, he's such a choleric, born leader, mover and shaker. But he's very concerned about my well-being and what happens to me, right? So if I get a sniffle, babe, do you take this? Babe, get this. Baby, I bought you this. You should try this, do I need to take you to the doctor? Do I need to take? I mean, he's so nurturing and making sure that I'm cared for. And that was unexpected, because he's so, he comes off as hard on the outside, but he's very sensitive on the inside. So that was an unexpected thing for me. So anything for you guys?
So I would say for my husband, like, I have attachment to stuff, and he is like, he's much neater than I am. So, when I, like he said, I come in and I put my jacket over the chair, and I just have so many jackets and so many, and I don't think that he was really prepared for all the stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm like, Lord, please just help me to, not be so attached. Help me to let go.
Yeah.
But he's giving me grace with that. But I don't think he was really prepared for that, because outside, she's so put together. But when you move in with somebody, then you get to see all of that. I would say
all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I mean that's it's true. But again, that's part of the that's the job though, right? That's my mate, right? And that's
Yeah,
the thing I'm
yeah.
supposed to help her with. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
think that I have some things that she gives me a lot of grace with too, right? Like I know that when I said how she likes to serve, like I didn't. It's really on another level when I see like how she is like the glue for her family, both sides of her family. Rachel has a big family, but I didn't know she was such a connector, right? Like I didn't
Wow.
know. Like I know that she, for Rachel to be as friendly as she is with everybody else, right? And she's a connector. She still has this thing that she kind of keeps to herself, right? And like you know what I mean? And
Yes.
like I love that, right? And I want to, you know, I love and I appreciate that because at the end of the day, I know that what happens here stays here, right? For her to
Mhm.
be, everybody knows Rachel, but everybody don't know everything.
What is that,
Like,
Karen?
and I appreciate that. Like I appreciate it because at the end of the day, like I said, I know our stuff stays here, right? It don't move.
Yeah.
Um,
So you are one extroverted and one introverted personality style, right?
Mm.
So sanguines, we like to be in the midst of everything. And we are connectors. We draw people to us, right? It's something about us that is very interesting to most people. And we have a way of rallying the troops. But then the introverted part of you is like, okay, I can set boundaries, right?
Mm.
I can set boundaries, and I also need my woosah time. I need to regroup, right? And but also you can keep a secret, like you're like a vault, and he likes the fact that you can you have boundaries and that you keep things that go on with you in your household, and I think that is critical. I
Mm.
remember my sister and I having a conversation years ago about, I didn't tell my mother everything that went on in our family because my mother was super involved in all of her children's lives. My parents had 10 children. And so my mother was connected to all of us, talking to all of us every day. And but I knew that if I told her something my husband did, she would never forgive him. Like she would go to her grave not forgiving him because she was a melancholy who was unforgiving and critical and judgmental, right? And so I knew that there are things that what goes on in the ward house stay in the ward house. It's not going out here in the world because she couldn't handle, or as I would say, he and I would make up, but then she would still be mad.
right, right. So you know, and like I was gonna get to that. Like Rachel is really my safe space, like
Yeah.
because I've had traumas from previous relationships where you share stuff and people will put your business in the street or they'll use it against you in a moment of anger, right? I don't have that fear with her. Like
Yeah.
I don't have that fear. Like I feel safe. Like if something's really going on, I can share it with her. But now there are some things I don't know because I don't want to put undue stress on her, so I don't share that stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but anything that goes on, I know I can share with her, and I know it's going to stay in our house, right?
Love it.
Yeah. So
I
that's
love it.
yeah.
Okay, so I know you're gonna have an answer for me on this one. I want to know, how do you keep things spicy? And
What?
No, it's you. Like go ahead. Come
No,
on. How you keep things spicy? I mean, you go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll let you finish.
that's the question.
That's the question. Um, go ahead, babe. I mean,
oh, you gonna throw that one on me?
no, I'll answer it. So my wife is definitely the more affectionate and aggressive of the two of us. So she keeps it spicy because she lets me know, like, you know what I mean? It's not a lot of secret. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't got to throw a lot of hints, right? It's just,
She could give you that
hey,
look. She just
right.
give it a
You know
look.
what I mean? So, like, yeah. I mean, that's what it is. Right? So I have to get better. Like, I think I got to do more things to like really set that tone. But
Yeah.
that's it, right? And you know, I appreciate it. Like I've never been an overly aggressive guy anyway, right?
Yeah.
So like I appreciate that from her, but now I have to like I gotta step my game up. You know what
But
I
I
mean?
think that kind of thing happens long before you get to the bedroom anyway. it's a lot of different things, like the fact that you share the chores, right? Like the fact that one person cooks and the other one washes the dishes. Those are love language things that happen with couples that people don't realize it's setting the tone for the rest of your evening.
So
It's like the communication. What are you gonna say, Ron?
No, I was gonna say, so maybe when she sees me with our son, like Rachel doesn't have to miss a thing. She knows I got him. I'm like, no problem. Spending time with him. I have him all day, right? Whatever she want to go out with a girlfriend, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I got him, right? Because I don't do much anyway, so you know what I mean. Like,
that's one thing that I just expressed that to Ron. Like, I'm just so appreciative. It just makes me want to make him happy because I recognize what I have in him. I haven't missed a nail appointment, a hair appointment, anything since having a kid. And you hear other stories, horror stories, and I'm like, man, that's not my story.
That's not your story.
He's not perfect by any means, but his heart is really to make me happy. You know what I mean? To keep me happy. I feel that. So yeah, it makes me want to make him happy. It makes me want to give him all the things,
Yeah. And, my husband and I have been married 29 years last weekend, right? And we still look at ways to just spice things up, like just doing fun things together. For our anniversary, I did, you all see the TikTok thing where you have like the index cards and you have two things on the index card. And,
yeah, I have seen that.
So I did that with him. And I did, I dress you or you dress you. And he chose I dress him. And I knew he would rather jump off a bridge than have me to dress him.
I like that.
And then I did, the next thing was entertainment. The movies or putt-putt. And the whole time they can't see the card, right? They just pick it without seeing what's on it. And so he chose the movie. So we went to see The Equalizer 3. And then it was fancy dinner. It was fancy dinner or casual dinner. And it was fancy dinner. And so we went out to a fancy dinner. And then the last thing, I think it was, what was the last thing? Entertainment, attire. Oh, I can't remember what the fourth thing was. But it was so much fun, and he loved it. I was surprised. I videotaped it.
Nice. That's nice.
Yeah. So I just think those are some little things that you could do to kind of spice things up. Oh, I know the fourth thing was, it was our anniversary. So I buy you a gift or you buy me a gift. And he chose I buy you a gift. And but I ended up buying him a gift because I had just bought myself something. So I bought him some shirts.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
Some fun things you could do. And I pick up a lot of these little silly things from TikTok to try, because even though I've been married 29 years, you can always keep it spicy,
right.
And I think that's something that we can do more and do better at. Like even just you bringing that up, like that's something I'm gonna take the TikTok index card thing from you. Like that, it's fun. It's
And what my girlfriend did, and I think I'm gonna do with my husband, is her and her husband had $40 to spend on each other. They had 30 minutes to spend it in Target. And they had to buy certain things. You had to pick out something that was my favorite color, my favorite snack, my favorite scent, stuff like that. So it's like 4 different things. And I'll send you that. Okay. But I thought that was really, really, really creative. And I said, yeah, I'll try that one too. That'll be fun because my husband loves to shop. Absolutely loves to shop. Yeah. When the pastor says, say something to your wife about spending money, I say a wife is the money spender. Every day he goes to work, if he has a quiet moment, I'm seeing stuff added to our Amazon cart. I'm like,
guilty, right? I'm not gonna mine is shoes.
Yeah, his is shoes.
If you stay looking forward, we know you won't we're not talking about you.
Right. Just look ahead.
Right. I own it.
All right, so I know you'll have an answer to this question, Ron. how do you manage the finances and make important decisions as a couple?
Uh, um, so that is that's a thing that we are currently working on, right?
Mhm.
Because you just brought it up about the shopping and things like that, and I think Rachel's more the saver. And the thing is, like you said, I do work in financial planning, and we have set some things up for our child. We are doing those things, and now we're talking about wanting to buy a home. So we have to have more in-depth conversations,
Yeah.
right? We got to really come up with the budget, and I think we really got to allow each other to really talk through that, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, you want to enforce things upon your mate. Again, common goal, right? How do we communicate that to each other so we can move forward, right? So that's something that we are working on and working towards. But I do think we have to make those decisions together, right? It can't be one person making the decision, right? It has to be made together.
Yeah.
And it has to be a real conversation. You know what I mean? But yeah, together. That's what I'll say. How you make those decisions together. Whether you come up with a limit, okay, listen, anything you buy above this, we need to talk about. Right. What's going to be our grocery budget for this month? Right. You know what I mean? Like, how we if we're going to eat healthier, how are we going to spend and buy that? Right. Like we've had discussions about, like Rachel said, like I can get this Aldi may have this for less. We need to buy this in bulk here. So now let's figure out how we put together a list on how we're going to go shop for that and keep that within our allotted budget. Right.
Yes.
So
I love it.
Yeah. So come up with the plan and come up with it together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is word together.
I mean, because
together.
It has to be together. Because I like sometimes, Karen, I'm being honest. Sometimes I feel like I got a mom, right? You know what I mean? And it's like, listen.
Did he say that?
He said it because, and I know why he said it, because if he's a sanguine and a choleric, right? The sanguine they have the philosophy of YOLO. You only live once, right? Choleric has the philosophy of I work hard, I deserve what it is I work for, and if it ain't enough money, I'm gonna make some more. I'll do it if I gotta pick up an extra job or add some this and that, or come up with a business idea, whatever it takes so I can get what I want. And so I'm married to that. And because I'm married to that, I had to adjust, because I'm also a sanguine choleric who would like to live for now and spend what I want to spend and do what I want to do. I saw a TikTok that was talking about me planning for my vacation, the vacation I want to go on. And it shows this beautiful luxury vacation, tropical island, this beautiful thing. And me looking at my budget, and it's like a little toy boat floating in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, that would be our lives, because both of us will be the ones trying to live for now and figuring we'll make it up on the back end and that kind of thing. And I had to be harder on finances, and I hate it. I don't want to be the person that sounds like I'm saying we can't spend or we can't have or we can't do, especially because we're retiring next year. Like I retired years ago. I worked for myself, but my husband is retirement eligible last year. And so next year we're looking at retiring, moving out of the state, and half the year out of the country.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
You got to have some financial goals for that.
Yeah.
But she just said it. So it's not ever, not never, just not now. You know what I mean? Like that's my whole thing.
Right. And Karen, so it's funny, right? Like as a financial planner and financial advisor, I help people plan for exactly what you're talking about, right?
Right.
Plan for their vacation, right? Delayed gratification, right? Not immediate gratification. But yet my personality is immediate gratification. So it's like,
exactly.
So it's like this is balance I have to find, right? I got to find this. Yeah. But luckily I have a spouse, right?
That balances you.
Right. That says, hey. So now it's like, all right, again, take my hands off the wheel, right? Listen to her and listen to and follow my own advice, right?
Yeah.
As painful as it is at times, right? But understanding the goal, though. You know what I mean? And again, as the head of my household, I gotta just buckle down and be more. You know what I mean? It just makes sense, right? So I had that self-talk. I got a mentor and a big brother I talk to about it. I got a business coach to talk to about it. So, she thinks I don't talk about it. I do a lot, right? So again, it's something we're working on, but working on that together, right?
Well, I always say that once a choleric knows it's something that they need to change, they're the first to start to work on it. It is very challenging to change that mindset. It requires work and a desire to want to change it, but it also requires surrender. Being able to surrender your will for God's will in your finances in all areas of your marriage or your relationship. So, yeah, I applaud you that you have a desire to do that.
Yeah.
I applaud you for that. So tell me, what do you think your vision is for your marriage in the long run? Like, how do you see yourselves growing and evolving as a couple?
So you want to give yours, or you want me to give them the vision I had?
You can give them yours. Okay. For us, it's for us as a couple,
right? So the vision I have, for our family, is that as we continue to grow, first of all, our short-term goal right now is really finding our forever home, our home that really raise Elias in, right? Like, we're kind of outgrowing this one, so now we're looking to try to find the ideal community, right? The home we want, probably a good size, so something would happen, like with the in-law suite, or enough space for a parent, right? If needed to stay with us, a nice home, because we like to entertain. Rachel likes to have again, she's a connector. A home where we can have family, right? That's short term, but the long term goal is for my business or my practice to grow, so that way Rachel can really do what she wants to do, which is serve. So I'm thinking, like, either in ministry or start a nonprofit, something that she can grow. So I want to retire her from her full-time job so she can really focus on that, and I can kind of take care of this, and like, we'll have that ministry. Because again, for me, what I do, I feel like I serve people already by helping them financially achieve their goals. I feel like that's service, and Rachel wants to serve in other ways. So we're going to be a family of service to our community.
Amen.
Right? And I think that's,
babe, can I cut in?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, adding on to that, like, I just feel Ron and I have been invited other places. I think as a couple, God is going to use us to speak to others, for our lives to be an example. It's important for me to just show God's love and how he's working. Not that our marriage is perfect by any means, but truly implementing God's principles in this marriage is what's keeping us together, applying what his word says. So I think that God is going to somehow, some way, push us together as husband and wife to show people his love and his model for what he want marriage to be. You know what I mean? Because we're two people becoming one, you know what I mean? And it's not even about us. It's not about us. It's about, what he wants for us and what he wants to do through us. So I just envision us doing something together for God. I don't know what that's going to be, but yeah.
Well, you guys have a strong foundation as newlyweds. I'm so excited. When I told my sister girlfriend, Carolyn Tatum, that I was going to have you guys, she said, I love them. I married them.
Yes, she did. She did. Absolutely.
And she was so excited, and everybody else was excited that you were coming on tonight.
Look what we have right here.
And it's so funny because on my segment, she was talking about she's going to have a event next year for Married to A to Z. And so it looks like she might want me to help out a little bit with that. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, I thank you guys. You can't believe it's already been an hour, right? Yeah. 59 minutes. Wow. But I want to thank you so much for joining me on Personality Speaking. Let me ask you, is there any way that people can get in touch with you in case they want to know more about the prayer group or about finances or whatever you would like to share with them? How would they get in touch with you?
Sure. I'm on Facebook as myself, Rachel Blackwell, and on Instagram as Gloray, GLORAE_Y. So yeah, you can find me at either one of those.
Tell me Instagram again.
GLORAE_Y. Glory.
All right. Glory. I know that's right.
And I'm on Facebook as my name, Ron Blackwell. Also Instagram is Ron_Blackwell_RME. And I have my own, my website is ron.blackwell@nm.com.
Mm-hmm.
My own website, Northwestern Mutual. My office is right in Bowie, Maryland. So just anybody can hit me up, DM me, and we can have a conversation.
I love it. Thank you guys for joining me on Personality Speaking, where the tea is always hot. Again, our show airs every Wednesday evening live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like this content, please subscribe and share and comment so that we can have more people know more about personality speaking and understanding their personality differences. We want you to understand your personality so you can build healthier, stronger relationships through the understanding of the personalities. I thank you for joining me tonight. I hope and pray that you are able to join me at the Building Forever workshop. Sorry, I'm going to put this up. The Building Forever workshop, exploring personalities for a stronger marriage connection. That's next Saturday, November the 4th, 2023. From 12 to 2 p.m. It's going to be in Washington, D.C. at the Richard Wright Public Charter School. There's parking on site underneath the building. There's also parking in front of the building, and it's accessible by Metro, LaFont Plaza, Metro. So I hope if you can take a picture of the QR code, it'll take you right to the Eventbrite. If somebody pays for the conference, the person who refers them can come, that couple can come free. So you can reach out to me on 301-388-8125. And that's also on my website, beyond2llc.com. And let me know that somebody has paid and you are coming free. And I'll be excited to see you there. I have some giveaways. We're gonna have some light refreshments. We're gonna have some fun and some good content. I hope to see you there next Saturday. But until then, Lord, I hope that you are able to build a healthier, stronger relationship by understanding each other. Thank you and good night. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Good